Yo, what's up guys? It's Alex Espinoza with the Rickey Henderson of YouTube. Make sure to use the promo code RickeyBlog at Last Dive Bar. Use my affiliate link down below. Help me out. Help out Last Dive Bar. Help out yourself. Get some cool new shirts. Hey, so there's so much news going on with the A's and the stadium in Las Vegas and Oakland. I figured I have to do another Rickey Report. I just did a big breakdown a little while ago, earlier today, about the Las Vegas A's ballpark situation. So it's really in depth and it touches a lot of different things. So make sure to go check that out. All right, I actually had recorded a whole different version of this video before about the diamond level shenanigans from Tuesday night, and then on Wednesday night, probably like 20 or 30 minutes after I recorded this, some more shenanigans broke out right behind home plate, and you could see it on the TV cameras. And Todd Sarin of the Oakland 68s, he was up there with Gabe Hernandez, Gamer Athletics on YouTube, and Todd brought out the Dave Kaval and John Fisher puppets. And so I heard from them that they actually did have diamond level seats, but then they moved over in the bottom of the sixth, and it happened to be great timings because they had the puppets going while Max Schumann hit a home run. So the A's NBC Sports account, and I believe the whole A's account too, they sent out the tweet of the homer, but you could see Todd in the background doing the doing the puppets. So good job by Todd. And another level to this is that Todd is actually sitting in the seat that John Fisher used to sit in when he used to come to games. I don't know, a couple of years ago he stopped sitting in diamond level. Now it belongs to his puppet. And I asked him, I was like, dude, how did you get down there? And he said, oh, I just told him I own the team. So I don't know how they snuck those puppets down there, but hilarious because the night, this is the second straight night there's been some shenanigans at diamond level for everybody to see. On Tuesday night, and an instant A's fan legend was born. Another one, his name is Matt, and Matt, he initially was sitting a little bit off to the side, and then he eventually moved right behind home plate and started unloading a bunch of FU John Fishers that the microphones picked up. So that's 2 straight nights now where a sell flag or, you know, a sell shirt or I don't know, some sort of shenanigans were going on in diamond level. Here's the video from Tuesday night.
Joe Adell up next.
Nice to meet you. We're going to stand here until they take us out.
And that's up.
Fuck you, John Fisher! Fuck you, John Fisher!
That's a little better. One out in the top of the ninth. He's check swing. Yes, he did.
A shout out to Matt for doing that. That was hilarious. He's the guy on the left here with the king with a crown. And Last Dive Bar is going to send him a king's ransom, a king's bounty. I heard is what they said of gear. So what was cool about Matt's interaction is I guess that the security guards were totally cool with him when they got him out of there. And even though he was flipping the bird and all this stuff, I guess they were saying, hey, we want to scream it with you. But, you know, they were just doing their jobs. So, but he got escorted out, no problem, and said he had no issue getting out of there. And speaking of the sell movement, there were some interesting developments in Arizona this past weekend as the A's played the Diamondbacks at Chase Field. And according to an A's fan, she had a weird encounter with Diamondback security at Chase Field with her son as they went there to watch the game. Here's the whole quote that was shared by Last Dive Bar. She said, before we even stepped 1 foot inside the stadium, 2 security personnel threatened to kick us out if we displayed the sell flag that I folded in my hand. They gave us 2 choices, leave it in the car or place it in my bag. I chose the latter. Because they chose to place it in my bag, they noted our section, our receipt numbers, and they said they would inform their security team to monitor us in their cameras, etc. One of them told me that this directive came from the request of the A's and not the Diamondbacks. But their approach was rather aggressive and intimidating. Was that also at the directive of the A's? Did something else happen in the past that triggered this course of action and is only isolated at Chase Field? Or is this now a league-wide mandate? I decided not to let that ruin our trip, but I traveled all the way from San Jose to support and cheer on the Oakland A's team. So that's what went down at Chase Field, and supposedly another fan also had to sell out his sell flag in the trash before he entered Chase Field. But he got it afterwards, even though it was soaked with beer, and took a photo, so that's pretty cool. And I was curious, so I looked at the Diamondbacks website at their sign policy. They reserve the right to remove any sign, so they were acting within their rights. That's posted on their website. But I just thought it was certainly interesting interaction, especially the fact that this fan said that the security guard supposedly told this fan that the director came from the A's, even though they are Arizona. So we'll have to see if this keeps happening at future road trips, because supposedly at Angel Stadium a couple days earlier there was no problems. So see if something changed, something to definitely monitor going forward. So the city of Oakland is also going through a lot of stuff right now, and there was a new development recently. As the city passed a new budget for 2025, but it is supposedly hinged and contingent on the pending Coliseum sale. And of course, there's a lot of drama with Mayor Sheng Tao and her business associate Andy Duong, who they were both raided by the FBI. And supposedly, according to the San Jose Mercury News, FBI operation has something to do with human trafficking and drug sales. So not looking good for Oakland. But she's still the mayor for now and still, I think, maintaining her innocence and going to try to fight this recall effort in November. So, but on Tuesday, the city council voted 5-3 to approve a new city budget, and that is contingent on the pending sale of the Oakland's half of the Coliseum lot. We've talked about it a couple different times. In May, the city of Oakland came to an agreement with the African American Sports and Entertainment Group, AASEG, to sell their half of the Coliseum to AASEG for a minimum of $105 million, and $60 million of that needs to be available for the city of Oakland by this fiscal year. So that means September. So under the terms of this current budget, it's kind of a risk that Oakland is taking. They're budgeting this $60 million into their plans for next year, even though it's a pending sale and you never know what's going to happen. So, I don't know. It seems, and if it doesn't happen, then according to Oakland's side, the Oakland will have to do $63 million in budget cuts. And right now, the police force is at 678, I believe was reported, and it'll go down to 600. So, that's a reduction of, 12, 14%, something like that, more than 10% of police officers. And there will be hiring freezes in the fire department and other departments, along with other cuts. And it seems like a risky move, and it also seems like puts a lot of pressure on AESEG to get this money together by September. So September 1st, less than 2 months away. We'll see if AESEG can make it happen. And but you would think that the $60 million would be okay, because supposedly AESEG is also in negotiations with the A's for buying the A's half of the Coliseum lot. So as it stands right now, AESEG got a pending sale of the city of Oakland, and they also are negotiating with the A's. And last I heard, I believe Casey Pratt was hearing it was around $125 million that's what the A's are asking for. So in total, about $230 million for the Coliseum lot. And yeah, we'll see how that all plays out. But Oakland's got another a really interesting year coming up. And we got some A's news down in Las Vegas as well. As Senate Bill 1 continues to go through some legal challenges from the Nevada State Education Association, which the NSEA, of course, they started the Schools Over Stadiums PAC, and they were trying to get something on the ballot, a referendum on the ballot. They failed there, it didn't work out. But the NSEA also started another PAC called the Strong Public Schools Nevada, which has taken up litigation against the A's. And SPSN recently just got some good news. I believe it was first reported by Evan Drellich of The Athletic on Tuesday, when he reported that a district judge has sided with SPSN as the A's tried to intervene in the PAC's pending lawsuit against the state of Nevada, the Las Vegas Stadium Authority, and Clark County. And we spoke to NSEA Political Director Chris Daly on episode 84 of the Rickey Henderson podcast about this. In a nutshell, SPSN is challenging the constitutionality of Senate Bill 1, which, of course, it was passed by Nevada legislators last June, and it outlines the A's ballpark plan to put a stadium at the corner of Tropicana Boulevard and the Strip. And basically, so here's one area where SPSN is challenging.
So the substance of the item is we believe SB 1 violates 5 sections of the Nevada State Constitution. We believe that the sale of personal seat license violates the Constitution, because that raises new revenue for the state, because the Stadium Authority technically owns the stadium, and this would be them authorizing the A's to sell these. The Constitution prohibits any new revenue from being raised without a 2/3 vote of the legislature. They did not get a 2/3 vote on SB1. That's one of them. We think each of our causes of action are pretty good, and we only really need to win on one.
And if you win on one, you're basically taking away a huge portion or maybe all of SB1, right? So that would do the same job as a referendum. And
depending on which one we win, I mean,
depending on which, yes.
If we win on all of them, it's gone. It's dead. Right. If we win on one or two of them, it is likely gone or dead.
And the point that we were talking about earlier is that since John Fisher is having such a hard time raising this money, getting all his ducks in a row, potentially even winning on one could be a fatal blow. Certainly winning on all would almost certainly be a fatal blow.
So here's what Daley told me in May while the judge was still deciding this whole thing. We think our case is pretty good. Apparently the A's also think our case is pretty good as they are attempting to intervene in the case. I think the reason why the A's want to intervene in the case is because they are concerned about a possible scenario where we win in district court and the state doesn't appeal. But if they're intervening, they would obviously appeal any loss as far as it could go. The A's will be kind of on the sidelines for this one as the district judge, thinks that the A's interests are represented by the state. And here's a statement that he gave with the ruling. According to the Nevada Independent and Evan Drelich, who reported this, the appropriate defendants are the government defendants who will attempt to defend SB1 on behalf of the public interest. The presence of the Oakland A's, a private party that only represents presumably profit-driven interests, will unduly expand the controversy. So according to Nevada Independent, no hearing date has been set for this, but whenever this is heard in district court, this could be a major showdown for SB1. So SPSN, same group as Schools Over Stadiums, they're going to try to do this. So we will see what happens, folks. This thing just keeps on unraveling, doesn't it? And speaking of Sell the Team Energy has reached the San Jose Earthquakes officially. On Saturday, they lost 3-0 to rival Los Angeles Galaxy, the LA Galaxy, at the California Classico at Stanford. And that's their 5th straight loss. And, they had a tie mixed in there, but they really haven't won a game since May 11th. As I'm recording this right now, they're losing in the second half. So on their way to a 6th straight loss. But according to Quakes Epicenter podcast, the crowd started chanting "Sell the Team" after the game at Stanford. And another fan actually showed a photo that John Fisher was actually at the stadium at some point. So I don't know if he was in there. I hope he got to hear those chants for his own ears, because sure as hell isn't going to the Coliseum and hearing anything. Maybe he's heard Matt on TV on Tuesday night. But as we detailed in an earlier Rickey Report, the Quakes Ultras, like the Ultra superfans, are already boycotting and protesting. Ostensibly, who knows, but I'm assuming just because the team has been so bad and they failed to continue, invest in their team. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? And so right now the Quakes are in last place in the Western Conference. The A's, of course, are in last place in their division. And, I'm not sure if you get the message, John, but you're not good at this. You should really sell the team. The A's, I haven't really watched them, honestly, too much in the past couple of weeks. I kind of want to get back into it again, but I don't really know. Yes and no. But anyways, on Tuesday, the A's announced a series of roster moves, and the A's PR accidentally left their comments on, or their replies on, for a few minutes on Twitter. So some fans got some stuff in real quick, but then they deleted the tweet. But here's the move. So the A's promoted third baseman, infielder Brett Harris, along with Tyler Ferguson, a right-hander, while DFAing Sean Newcomb, who's a southpaw, and infielder Aledmus Diaz. And I think Diaz is the biggest name in this thing. He was, I believe, the A's second highest paid player currently on the roster, making $8 million this year. And now Miguel Andujar is the A's highest paid player, hitter, who's making $1.7 million. So, I kind of saw this Diaz move coming back in late May when the A's DFA'd and kind of let go of Seth Brown and J.D. Davis. I was saying, I think Diaz is next. And, he only hit 103 and he had a negative 29 OPS. So I think it's pretty safe to say he's not going to get picked up by anybody. Either he'll get outrighted or he'll have to accept a minor league assignment by somebody else, but believe the A's are just going to have to eat that salary, that $8 million. And overall, he got $14.5 million over the past 2 years and didn't really have much to show for it. But he did take a responsibility for his performance here in Oakland. According to Martin Gallegos of MLB.com, Katse said, "You don't get many players that when you tell them they're DFA, they apologize for lack of performance and the way we rewarded him with confidence of bringing him here. He's a true pro. We're hopeful that he goes somewhere and can help impact the team." I don't think he's really going to latch on anywhere, and who knows? I mean, he's getting up there. I believe he's 33, 34 years old, so I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if this is the end of the road for him, but it sounds like he's a really nice guy. And he got a nice $14.5 million the past couple of years, so not bad, right? He was dealing with injuries and stuff, but even when he was in there, it was just never really going on. Hole on offense, not a great arm. He was doing bounce passes from shortstop earlier this year, so... At this point, I think A's fans are just clamoring for 2023 first-rounder Jacob Wilson, who's batting .464 this season across 3 different levels, and he's tearing it up for the Aviators, hitting over .450 over there. So, as I'm recording this on Wednesday, the A's are taking on the Angels in the second game of a 3-game set. And then they'll host the Orioles this weekend. And on Friday, the Bees will also open up a 9-game homestand when they host the YOLO High Wheelers. And I want to give a shout-out to a Bees fan. Her name's Sarah. She gave me this really, really cool shirt. Showed it off with Scrappy at Raimondi Park the other week. But yeah, shout out to Sarah. Love the shirt. Really, really cool. So, all right, guys. Thanks a lot for listening. Hope you guys have a great 4th of July. I'm Alex Espinoza with the Rickey Henderson of YouTube. See y'all next week.